This is Nigeria. You want to know what's going on? Relax, I will tell you. Now, what has age got to do with the 2023 general elections? This is our discussion today. Let's get to it immediately. Governor INEC Wike of Rivers State and the leader of the G5 governors made some claims recently. See for yourself. Watch.
Anybody getting up to 70 years, I cannot support the person to be governor of Rivers State too. We are not in that side. We are 70 years old. No. We need young and vibrant people. So, your son, today, but let me tell you, none of them, not one, has what it takes to fight. They don't have it. Don't worry. We'll smoke them out very soon. You know, fight is not matter. Fight is not matter. You will check your BP, you check your sugar level, you check all things in you, whether are you prepared. Because when the heat will come, your BP will go high. And when your BP goes high, your doctor may not be around, you can slump. So be very, very careful. You see, they will come and tell you all kinds of stories. I have continued to challenge them. What is the problem? What are we fighting? What I said, and I continue to say, all of us are from this country. Nobody is a second-class citizen. We all agreed. This is how our party will be. Recently, Professor ABC wants to resign from the party. That his conscience has not allowed him. That the constitution of the party is clear. If you take this, these people will take this. Why now have you said, we won't do it again? Now when people are saying, look, there's nothing, you have taken this. Why let these people take this? He said you will take all. So if you take all, you will also face the repercussion. After all, what are they telling me? We voted PDP since 1999, is it not correct? In terms of logistics, nobody supported PDP more than Rivers State since 1999 under Dr. Peter Odili. Yes, it's true. Down to Amechi, yes. We gave the highest vote to Jonathan, it's true. That as a minister, even as a governor, nobody has supported PDP the way Rivers State has supported PDP. Tell me one thing we got. Can you mention one federal government project under PDP that we got? Can you mention? No. Look from left to right to center. Take Rivers East. Where is the project under the government? Take Rivers West. Is it there? Take Rivers Southeast. Is it there? Mention.
Wike said a lot of things there, but let's take them one after the other. First, Wike said he can't support anybody within the age bracket of 70 years and above to govern Rivers State. He said the state deserves a young and vibrant governor to do the job. One that is healthy enough to withstand the heat and the fight that comes with governance. It's common knowledge that Wike and the G5 governors haven't endorsed a presidential candidate yet. But was Wike indirectly saying that he can't support the presidential candidate of his party, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Atiku Abubakar, who is 76 years old? I leave you to answer that question. Secondly, Wike talked about how Rivers State has helped PDP win elections since 1999, starting from the time of Peter Odili to Rotimi Amechi and now himself. Yet, the state has never benefited anything from the PDP-led federal government. This is really confusing. Is Wike angry with the PDP because he couldn't secure the presidential ticket of the party? Or he is angry with the PDP because the national chairman, Iyorchia Ayu, has refused to resign as promised? What is really the problem here? I also leave you to answer this question. Moving on, the PDP has accused the ruling All Progressive Congress, APC, of orchestrating security situations to compel INEC to postpone the presidential election. Take a look at this. Watch.
Our party, the People's Democratic Party, has been following the many faulty narratives being promoted by the APC with the view to blackmail critical election stakeholders to accede to its design to postpone the 2023 general elections, particularly the February 25 presidential elections. Our party had earlier alerted the nation of a well-oiled plot by the APC to orchestrate security situation and promote circumstances to warrant the postponement of the 2023 general elections by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. The PDP therefore charges INEC as an independent institution not to succumb to blackmail. The PDP also demands that security agencies should place APC leaders on watch lists.
That was the National Publicity Secretary of the PDP, Debo Ologunaba. He has asked that the security agencies place APC leaders on the watch list so they don't become a security challenge in this time of elections. Now, let's take a look at the figures coming from the voters' register for the 2023 general elections. Watch.
INEC had told us 84 million Nigerians were the ones, the figures that we had going into the 2019 election. So 84,004,084 people were on INEC register. But when INEC began the CVR, that's a continuous voter registration, it had 12,298,944 registrants. But out of all of that, we have a lot of things that have happened. Double registration, fraudulent registration, and all of that. When all of those happen, after the deduplication of this figure, and it came down to 9,518,188 voters that were established as the true voter that came through this CVR process. So if you minus this, if you take this away from this, it tells you that about 3 million fraudulent double registration or invalid registration happened in this process. Now, if you look at this, there is a huge difference. We are almost nearing 100 million voters in Nigeria. That's 96,303,028 eligible voters. My younger ones should also know that it is their time. If they have done so well in coming out, they made about 70% of the new registration. Why not use that power during the election? So if you look at it, so you have 18 to 35, the middle age 35 to 49, having this percentage and this number, elderly and the old, they're having this figure compared to the men and the women.
This is already 74% or thereabouts. If you add the youth and middle age together, that means 49 years old and below. And don't forget, the benchmark is 18 years. So you are looking at 18 to 49 years, that they form over 70% of the demography of people who will choose the next set of leaders in 1,491 constituencies. And that is why when you extrapolate this, I just came back from a coaching and mentoring workshop earlier today, and I was encouraging the female candidates that we did this for. And I said, look, if you look at the quantum of resources federal government is putting into conducting 2023 election, it would be a shame if we don't have good turnout of voters. Because this is the costliest election in the history of Nigeria. This election is costing the nation over 400 billion. Because if you add 305 billion in 2022 budget to 173 billion, it goes in 2023 budget. I mean, the one of 2022 is 305 billion, and the one of, according to the Minister of Finance, 173.6 billion. If you add the two together, that's almost half a trillion. I mean, not so close, but over 400 billion. So if you have that kind of quantum of resources being put into election, and people of this demography between 49 and 18 refuse to come out, and they keep complaining, looking for way to japa to abroad, they are not helping, because these elderly people who are 50 to 69, they have seen it all. They are not afraid to die. But the younger generation who should take ownership and make sure that the leadership recruitment of 2023 is not business as usual, that we shine our eyes and make sure that we have new set of leaders who can set us on the right trajectory to development.
This top bar, all right, they form the majority. But guess what? This bar are the ones that they are going to be voting for. Some huge percentage of those who are running for president are within this lower bar. And more of the other strata are in this lower bar. So these people are the servants of these people.
It is very clear that young people between the ages of 18 and 49 make up 70% of the voters register. The remaining age group fall within 30%. It is interesting to know that everybody contesting the presidential election fall within the age group of 30%. The irony of these statistics is that the 70% is at the mercy of the minority 30%, whereas they are the king makers. 30% rule over 70% in Nigeria. Over 90 million registered voters are eligible to vote in the coming election. Young people are the majority of this number, yet they are the very people crying of bad governance when they can actually make the difference. Finally, PVC collection deadline has been shifted from 22nd January to 29th January 2023. Go collect your PVC now. Be part of Nigeria Decide 2023. I'll see you soon. Don't you think you're forgetting something? Yes, the subscription button. Click on it right now.